Have you ever wondered where the television signal you are watching is coming from?
Welcome to True North.
Good evening and welcome to Maine Watch.
Welcome to From the Vault, a celebration of 60 years of Maine public television. Well, baseball season is underway, so we thought we would stay in that theme and find something baseball related. What we are going to do is go back to 1992 for an episode of Woods and Waters with Bud Leavitt. In this episode, the famed sportsman spends an hour with former Red Sox and Expos pitcher Bill Lee. Now, we've shown parts of this episode before, but this time we will bring you the entire hour-long conversation where they take phone calls from viewers around Maine and Atlantic Canada. Now, Bud did pass away just a couple of years after this episode, but Bill is still going strong at the age of 75. In fact, he is still pitching as a member of the Savannah Bananas, that crazy Georgia team known for Banana Ball, a blend of baseball and entertainment that sees players on stilts, playing in kilts, dancing umpires, and grannies. A reminder that we have several entire Woods and Waters episodes available on our From the Vault playlist at youtube.com/mainpublic. Now, let's talk baseball as we go back to 1992 for Woods and Waters.
I love to go a-wandering along the mountain track, and as I go I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Bud Leavitt, Bud Leavitt, my knapsack on my back.
Woods and Waters with your host, Bud Leavitt.
I suppose I could start this program this evening by reading from the baseball encyclopedia. I'm not going to do that. No, Fenway by Peter Gollenbach. Why? William Francis Lee. He's all through both of these books, but he's here live and in person. Bill Lee, good to see you.
Thank you, Bud. Nice state you got here.
Pretty good state.
Yeah, it's pretty.
How about the provinces?
The provinces are nice. I got to play there for 5 years in Moncton and ended up in Sydney Mines almost. And
Sydney Mines?
Yeah, I ended up playing up there.
Anybody ever hear of Bill Lee at Sydney Mines?
They know about me now.
Really?
Hit a long home run into a project over there in Waterford, I think it was, and then I had a good time there. I enjoyed my days in the Maritimes.
Did you enjoy your days in the big leagues?
They went by awful fast. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them all, even the time when I got banished to Montreal and found out that bars stayed open till 4 o'clock. The Red Sox sure know how to punish a guy like me, an Irish Catholic.
Huh?
We'll send him up there to the Les Belles Provences and see him take a little of that.
But you had a great year up there in Montreal.
I had a great year. I ran to the ballpark. I had to sober up some way, and I won 16 games, and we were 1 game away from first place. And the Red Sox were mired in the second division. And then my next year in Montreal, we were 1 game away from first place. And then the last year in Montreal, we were 1 game away from first place. We felt a lot like Linus in the Snoopy cartoon. We were Charlie Brown. We never seemed to win it up there. We were bridesmaids, but the Canadians really liked us because we had a lot of heart, that team in Montreal, and they loved us. But out here in the Maritimes, there are more Red Sox fans than there were Expo fans. And I couldn't figure that out. I just didn't know, but it shows that the tradition, the New England tradition, extends all the way up the coast, all the way through St. John, Moncton, Charlottetown, all the way over to Hawkesbury.
What is it about the Maritimes that had fascinated you so much?
It seemed to have been like America was a long time ago. It was slow-paced, it was easygoing, people were friendly when you stopped by at a person's house. They invited you in, they fed you, they kept you there, they told you stories, and there was no rush or pace to it. And it was I needed that after my days in Montreal, which were very hectic and under the microscope. And my days in Boston, I thought I was a mature old adult when I was in Boston, and I didn't realize it. I wasn't even mature in Moncton, but I'm not mature now, but I'm getting there. You know, my hair's getting grayer, and I better gain maturity soon, or life may pass me by. But I've had a good time.
You're 10 years in Boston. 3 of those years you won 17 ball games. You know I'm going to ask you this question. Who was the best manager you ever played for?
Rod Dato at the University of Southern California.
Oh, come on. I mean the big leagues.
Well, we won it that all year, College World Series. The best manager I had in the big leagues was Dick Williams, without a doubt.
This was a mean, tough guy.
But he knew baseball, and I respected him. He knew the game. He had no favorites. He didn't play a favorite. He played the game the same way day one as day. If you got on his list, you got off his list if you did well the next time out. He didn't keep you on it. Zimmer had a doghouse, and as Ferguson Jenkins said...
That's Mr. Manager Don Zimmer?
Yeah, it said Zim had a doghouse, and the only problem with his doghouse, it didn't have a door on it, you know? And it's true, the statistics, we were just talking about that. In Montreal, I was 10-6, lost 4 games in a row, and Dick Williams stuck with me. I ended up winning my last 6. I ended up 16-10, and we missed the World Series by 1 game to Pittsburgh. In '78 with the Red Sox, I was 10-6. They got rid of Carbo. I was upset. I lost 4 games in a row. Zimmer said, we'll win it without Lee. They brought up Sproul, threw me in the bullpen, never to be seen again, and I ended up with a 10-10 record. You know, all they had to do was keep me in the rotation. I would have won my last 6, and we blow the Yankees away, going away. And we're the world champions, and Reggie Jackson doesn't hit the 3 home runs against the Dodgers, and he's a jerk anyway. He didn't deserve to hit it. You know, he wouldn't have made the Hall of Fame, and it would have changed the world. We'd have world peace right now. We wouldn't have the war in the Gulf. Gosh, just because of Zimmer.
What got between you and Zimmer?
Ooh, he's a hitter. I'm a pitcher.
You mean he disliked pitches?
I'll tell you a story. We're playing in Seattle, and all of a sudden on the wire it says Garvey and Don Sutton get into a knockout brawl at Donnybrook, and Zimmer's going, I can't believe that. Sutton's a nice guy. Garvey's a sweetheart. He's the nicest guy in the world. How could those two get in a fight? I looked at Zimmer. I said, one's a hitter and one's a pitcher. The twain shall never meet. And he goes, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know, like this, and he just walks away. And I should have never used the twain. That word confused him. But you have to see it. Like we said before, the last person that ever got Zimmer out in a ball game was Jim Cott. Threw him a 3-2 backdoor curveball when he was with the Washington Senators. He took it for called third strike. It ended the ball game. The pennant went to Minnesota, and Zimmer never played again in a major league ball game. He hates pitchers. He'll always hate pitchers, even though he has to manage them. Deep down in his side, middle infielders that hit less than 250, made too many outs. They don't like pitchers. Deep down inside, in their psyche, they hate pitchers.
Yeah, but you called him a name. I became famous. You made a rodent famous.
I called Billy Martin a no-good, dirty rat because he let his daughter rot in a Peruvian jail. I said, Zimmer. They said, well, what's Zimmer? If he's a rat, what's Zimmer? And I said, well, he's fat, got big puffy cheeks. He's a gerbil. And the kid wrote me a letter. He says, Mr. Lee, I think you're mistaken. He says, a gerbil's a very thin creature with long legs. A hamster has the big puffy cheeks. And I'm sorry. I'll say this right now, Zim. I'm sorry. You're a hamster. But that's a lovable, affectionate term. It was not used in a derogatory sense. It was used in a connotation of rodents. If we were talking hawks, I would have called, let's not get into that one. I would have called Billy Martin a shrike, or something that would lay his eggs in another bird's nest and kick out the young and beat them to death with a mallet. And they said, well, what's Don Zimmer? I said, well, he's fat, he's got big puffy cheeks. He's a hoot owl, right? You had to be there.
When you go back to the ballpark now, do you and Zim speak?
I went there the other day, well, a month ago, and Zim saw me and immediately took a fungo bat and walked to center field and stood out there with his arms crossed. And until I left, he would not come back into the playing field. I should have stayed there the whole game. I would have liked to seen him standing next to Burks. Would have been better than coaching third. Too many men on the field. No. See, you can see I make levity of everything, but
I know you make levity of everything.
And-
At one time during your career, you sent the Boston writers looking over the state of Maine map. You absented yourself from Fenway Park and said you had gone to the Allagash.
that's right. I wish I had of.
They
What
didn't
a-
know where'd you go?
I know. They figured the Allagash.
They never knew where the Allagash was.
Well, they
I had
wouldn't-
Boston baseball writers calling me, want to know where the
Oh,
hell
I
it-
bet you they thought I was up with you. I should have been. That was what a nice place, the Allagash. You know.
Well, tell me, where did you go during that when you absented yourself?
I was in my house over in Belmont. The press finally found me, and they demanded that I come out of the house, and they filmed me, and I gave it my power salute to Bernie Carbo, and then Don Zimmer saw me and Haywood Sullivan, and they sent me a telegram to my house saying, you better get back to Fenway Park or we're gonna take desperate action and stuff like that. So I got on my Army fatigues, I ran to the ballpark, I ran 6 miles to the ballpark, I came into Haywood Sullivan's office, and I said, yeah, Haywood, what do you want? And he says, well, you walked out on the ball club, you jumped the ball club. I said, you sold one of your children to Cleveland for half the waiver price. He says, well, you don't make policy, we make policy. You're not running this ball club. And he says, we're gonna fine you $500. And I said, Haywood, I said, why don't you fine me $1,500 and give me the weekend off? He really liked me then.
I bet he liked you.
Then they take me down, and Zim makes fun of me in front of all the players, saying this guy's got no respect for the Red Sox uniform. He hates you guys. And he jumped the ball club, and I went down and I said, yeah, and where's Bernie Carbo? I said, you're going to miss Bernie Carbo. I said, you're going to miss this day till the day you die. And what happened in that year, not one Red Sox pitch hitter drove in a run after Bernie Carbo left. Bob Bailey was up against Gossage in the last game, and Carbo could have come in and pitch hit for him. You could have made a switch right there. And you look back at the records, we did not, it's in the book. That's all I can say. You can look it up. And that was the '78 season, and I was sold or traded on December 7th, a day that will live in infamy with all Red Sox fans.
You had 4 teeth knocked out.
I had 4 teeth knocked out 4 different times.
Now, who did this?
First time the sidewalk. Second time my brother's baseball helmet. Third time Ellie Rodriguez's brother and his cousin on a steel pole. The 4th time a guy's shoulder in a basketball game. The 5th time I was riding Melissa on her bike and she put her feet in the spokes and I went over and lost my teeth on the sidewalk. But I didn't fumble the girl.
But tell me about Ellie Rodriguez. He was a pretty good battler.
Ellie Rodriguez, I was in Maguas pitching, and I gave up a 3-run homer to Willie Montañez. Willie Montañez hit it. Next hitter up was Rodriguez. I drilled Rodriguez right in the hip, intentionally. Hit him with a slider, not a fastball, because my fastball doesn't hurt. So I hit him with a slider, and he charged the mound, and when he got to the mound, I stayed on the rubber, like you're supposed to do. Stay on the rubber, hold up your glove, and I hit him with a left hook that Cal Irmer says was one of the best left hooks he'd ever seen. I knocked Rodriguez out. Next day in the papers, it says, Mayaguez loses, but Lee El Lansur Zurdo, he says, puncharon el former light heavyweight Golden Glove champ, Ellie Rodriguez. So here I am, I knock out the #1 light heavyweight in the state of Puerto Rico, or the province, or the Dominion, or whatever it is. So they jumped me the next day in Caguas and beat me within an inch of my life.
Where were you, getting off a bus?
Got off a bus. It was a weird situation. The bus got bogged down and then the bus lurched forward and I had an avenue amongst all these people and they said, take it, Bill. I took it and then I got surrounded and I got pushed into a steel pole. So I was brave to get off the bus first and dumb. I should have got off later, but then I might have died.
But you hit him again with another pitch.
I hit him in Boston the following year. Hit him with a slider right in the same hip. And he charged the mound and Montgomery pulled him in no fight. We didn't get expelled or anything. And then he went to first base, and then I faked home, picked him off of first base. And
Well, you picked him off?
I picked him off for the second out of the inning. He came back in, and he was putting on his uniform, his pads, And I threw a changeup to the next hitter down and in, and he got out in front and hit a line drive into the Brewers dugout and hit Rodriguez right in the chest. And I said, one of my better pitches.
Do you get a Christmas card from him annually?
No, I talk to a lot of guys, Felix Millon, friends of mine, Cheo Cruz, people that I know in Puerto Rico, and they say that Eli Rodriguez is a bad hombre. He's Looney Tunes. I was crazy, but he was nuts.
Listen, before we start taking telephone calls from our viewers out there, tell me about the New England Gray Sox.
Well, thank you. We had a senior league down in Florida which folded because we charged too much for the fans. It was overpriced. It was the wrong time of the year. And the owner of the team, Jim Russick, liked the idea of having all Red Sox together. I was the general manager, and I said, get all Red Sox. I said, you can market it well in New England. People love to see the old Red Sox players. So we decided last year, we played 2 games in Connecticut, and 6,000 fans came to see McAuliffe, me, Fidrich, Stanley, Bill Buckner, and Dalton Jones played third, and we couldn't get a catcher, ex-Red Sox catcher. I probably could get Haywood Sullivan's son.
Mark.
But I got Ozzie Virgil Jr. He catches for us. George Foster, who is not a Red Sox, but he's a New England boy, plays the outfield, and he's a friend of mine. And we had Bobby Bonds play 1 game, but he's not going to play anymore because he doesn't want to play. So we're getting old Red Sox players, and we're touring New England like Summer Stock Theater, and we're playing a game in first one in Nashua, New Hampshire, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Lynn, and after Lynn on Wednesday we're driving up and we're going to spend 3 days in the Bangor area. We're going to play on Stephen King's Field, and we're going to play a collegiate all-star team over at Orono.
At the university.
At the university. We're going to play an elite team, and we'll probably get beat because we're going to be tired, slow. Now, we beat the #1 champs in New England hardball 13-1 last year and 7-1. We've only given up 2 runs. Stanley still throws extremely well. I threw well last year. I had 4 bone chips out. But the New England Gray Sox, we go around. We raise money for local charities. Each ball game, we donate part of the ticket price to the charities. So we're funding amateur baseball in Pittsfield. We're funding the Challenger League of handicap players in the Lynn area. And we haven't picked out a charity for Nashua. In Burlington, Vermont, we're raising money for the Long Trail. Long Trail Ale is giving us all of their beer, and we're selling it all over the ballpark, and the money goes to securing the Long Trail so people can hike for free, on one of the most beautiful trails, part of the northern extension of the Appalachian Trail. And we haven't decided what we're going to do here. Stephen King.
Briefly, what are you doing with your time these days outside of this little baseball skirmish?
I'm going to Boston tomorrow. I'm playing 4 ball games over the weekend, charity ball games. I am running for president under the rhinoceros ticket. I think I can really throw a scare into H. Ross
Well, the
Perot.
way things are going right now, you might win.
I started that. Perot's just he's plagiarizing my platform, And besides that, I'm doing that. I build my own house. I planted a lot of apple trees this spring, and I'm just Johnny Appleseed. People call me up, and I come. And that's the way I've always run my life, and I don't expect to change. And I would love the New England Nissan dealership to give me free mileage because I've got 72,000 miles on my Pathfinder, and it's a year old. And
Wow.
I can book.
Well, the other day when I talked to the house, you were in San Francisco, and you've been really, every day's a date.
Every day. I've got 1 weekend free, and that's taken up because I'm coming up on July 4th, and I'm playing against Stephen King's All-Stars, and he challenged me to a ball game, and I accept all challenges.
So you're going to go pick on the town's leading offer?
Yeah, I'm not going to hit him.
Oh, you're not going to hit him?
No, I don't drill people. I just throw them change-ups and little garbage. I do my Mike Cuellar imitation. Here's a cauliflower. Here's a cabbage. You can't hit a cabbage far,
All right, we'll take your calls now anytime. Are we ready? All right, yell when you're ready. You mentioned Dick Williams. You're one of the few people supportive of Dick Williams. He's been admitted to be a great manager, but he's tough.
He's tough. You have to be tough to be a good manager these days. You cannot cater to everybody's little whim. You know, in the old days, it used to be 25 different individuals trying to satisfy one man. Now, you have one man trying to satisfy 24 different individuals, all riding in different limousines. You cannot do that and have a good ball club. You have to have the cohesiveness, that the respect that is gained by the guy in Pittsburgh, the guy in Minnesota, the guy in Oakland, you know, and the guy in Toronto must command a lot of respect too. I don't know. They're good managers. I'm not saying Butch Hobson isn't a good manager. He's too young. He hasn't paid his dues in the managerial scene. The Red Sox brought him up too much. Plus, everybody liked Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan did nothing wrong. He won more ball games than any other Red Sox manager. He took a club that was notoriously slow and snuck them through the back door, you know, and they almost beat Toronto. They shouldn't have been in the same ballpark. They can't play on AstroTurf. They can't play in big ballparks.
Did you ever hear of Malunkus?
Malunkus? No.
Yes. Well, you're going to talk to a man from Malunkus right now. Come in.
Yes, Bud. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Ed Harris, Bud.
Yes, Ed.
Well, we listen to Mr. Lee talk there. The team he's going to be playing when he comes up was going to be August 2nd, as far as we know right now, and that's the Eastern Maine Amateur Baseball League.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sponsor and manage the Malunkus Travelers in that league.
The Malunkus Travelers.
Malunkus Travelers, yeah.
You been pelunked in Malunkus?
Not yet, Bill.
Pelunk you in the ribs.
No, but you may not remember, but a couple of years ago, a son of mine played against you when you was playing for Moncton. He played for Woodstock. Hit a home run off you up there.
In Woodstock?
Yeah.
Really?
He was a catcher. You beat him 2-1. And
well, he got the only run off me.
He got
Congratulations.
the only run off, and I think he said that you hit a home run for Moncton too. But
yeah.
But what I wanted to say.
I remember that ball game. I enticed the guy from third to try and second. I was at second base trying to get him to pick me off. He tried to pick me off through the ball in center field. And we had the winning run at third base, and the winning run from third came in. I said, I knew you shouldn't have tried to pick me off at second.
But,
Ed, we got another call.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't think we're playing on that. I think we're playing on the, sorry, it's not the second, it's the 8th.
The 8th, okay.
Okay, that's what it is.
Good enough.
All right, where are you calling from?
Yes, from Biddeford, Maine.
Biddeford.
How you doing? Hey, Bud, I love your show. Keep up the good work. Listen, I got a question for Bill.
Uh-huh.
Bill, I watch you pitch a lot, okay, but I want to know about one of your teammates, if you don't mind. Jim Rice. Was he as physically imposing as everybody thought he was? Like, I've heard stories of when he came through a door, he really filled up the door frame well. And if you did have a chance to pitch against Mr. Rice, what would you think of being a pitcher?
Just throw it in the dirt, he'd hack at it. Swung a lot of bad pitches and couldn't pull the ball. You know, he hit the ball away from him real good. He's kind of like Mo Vaughn. You could throw the ball by him inside. When he was younger, he was quick, but after he hurt his knee, he couldn't turn on the ball. And I'm a carpenter now, and he wouldn't scare me if he filled up the frame.
Yeah, but
know.
Bill, go ahead.
Huh?
For 10 years, the man was imposing. I mean, he was probably one of the best home run RBI man in the business.
He sure was. He sure was.
He was imposing.
I'm not saying anything bad against him, except, you know, I didn't get along with him, but I'm not saying he could have been great. I mean, he was great. He played good defense behind me. He did everything that, I mean, he played well behind me. You know, he liked me. I still like Jim Rice and everything, but he had a surly manner that kind of got him upset. And once his salary got up to the big bucks and he started kind of waning, what happened because of the new market scale in baseball, they just get rid of you now. They don't drop your salary because you complain and you have your agent and you call discrimination or whatever you call it, you know, and age discrimination.
All right, Bill, we have another.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Yeah, you know.
Hello.
He's all right.
Yes, Bill.
Where are you calling from?
From Lyman.
From where?
Yeah, I was wondering, are you going to be able to get Bernie Carbo on your team, on your Gray Sox?
Bernie Carbo's playing.
He is.
Let's put it this way. He's going to go out in the outfield, but the guy tends to kill grass when he's out there. I might play the outfield, and I'll let him hit. He's still a character, and he's in good shape. He's quit drinking. He's really turned over a no leaf. He married a girl that looks like Blaze Starr. So he's got his hands full.
What about the Rooster?
The Rooster is coaching second base for the Red Sox, if you ever watch the TV.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
All right.
What about JoJo White? Oh, that's the wrong game. Sorry.
JoJo White,
Yeah, you got the
JoJo
wrong
White's
bus.
coming up with us, too. We're bringing his bone spurs along in a separate bus.
Right.
Come in, where are you calling from?
Bangor.
Bangor, all right.
I'd like to ask Mr. Lee how many games he won for Boston and how tall he is.
Bill,
How
how
many
tall on you? What you
How
won in
tall
loss
and how-
record?
Let me look. No, I'm 6'3". I weigh 225 pounds. I'm 10 pounds overweight. I won 97 or 94 games, lost 56 or something like that. I had a pretty good record for the Red Sox. I would have had a better record if my arm wasn't broken in '76.
I enjoyed watching you pitch. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed pitching there.
Come in. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Where are you calling from? Space. The
Space.
final frontier.
All right, we'll take this call. Where are you calling from?
Yes, Moncton, New Brunswick.
Moncton, New Brunswick.
Howdy.
How you doing, Bill?
Who's this?
It's John McDonald from Moncton, New Brunswick.
Hiya, John McDonald. I didn't play with you.
No, you play with the Moncton Mets,
Yeah.
and we really enjoyed you
I
down
thought
here.
Ross Kidney was going to be calling me. Or Brenda Kidney.
No, I used to watch you playing, and we enjoyed you, and your antics were, somewhat the
thank you.
same down here as they were in Montreal and everything else.
Heck, I had a good year there once. I had an ERA 0.56. Me and Rial Cormier, we were good.
Yes, I know. Riel credits some of his major league.
I bet he didn't credit his last game to
No,
me.
I guess he's not, but he'll be back up.
Boy, he got lit up. Second time around, you got to change your stuff. You got to be able to trick guys. And he went out there and someone just pounded his ears back. But
Yeah.
you got to learn to come back from that.
Yeah, he will. There's no doubt.
All right, we got another questioner on the line.
Take care.
Okay.
Hello, where are you calling from?
Calling from Brewer.
From Brewer, all right.
Canusa games.
Yeah, just wanted to say hi to Bill. I used to watch him in the bleachers a lot and met him one time in No Name Restaurant.
Really?
In Boston.
That's a good place for fish.
Yeah, it sure is. Good place. Two quick questions. One, I'd like to know if you'd ever like to be major league manager for a ball club someday. And two, what would it take to get you to make a personal appearance somewhere?
All you got to do is find me.
Okay, how do I find you?
In Craftsbury, Vermont.
Okay.
I'm in the book.
Okay.
And as far as, what was the first question? Oh, be a major league manager?
Yes.
I would love to manage the Red Sox or the Expos, especially the Red Sox. But they don't tend to hire pitchers to do jobs around there.
Yeah, well, when I buy the Red Sox...
You got a catcher with bad fingers that's a general manager, right?
Right.
And you got a whole bunch of guys that are hitters and stuff around there, and they just don't seem to hire pitchers in that organization.
They're pretty fleet of foot, too.
And they're pretty fleet of foot.
Okay,
we may have good pitching and good defense, which is something Boston had never seen before.
When I buy
Fans wouldn't show up.
When you buy the Red Sox, tell me about it.
When I buy the Red Sox, Bill, you'll be the manager.
Well, thank you. I would appreciate it. I learned from the best. And
Come in. Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
Good. Where are you calling from?
Winterport.
All right, good.
Yeah, Bill, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
My question is, well, first of all, just a little statement. I went to school, actually a little behind, but with Bob Montgomery, same high school he went to.
Really?
Yes, down in Nashville, Tennessee.
Sure, that's where he's from.
Yeah, and anyway, what I'm trying to do now...
He didn't like the catch then, did he? I bet he just wanted to hit.
Probably. But anyway, what I'm trying to do is to get into baseball announcing. Is there any maybe tip you could give me so I could follow in his footsteps maybe?
You got to donate your own time. You got to find a place and send in your play-by-play of high school games and college games and work your way up the ladder and do a lot of sweat equity.
Well, I've done that. I'm going to the New England School of Broadcasting.
Well, you're working your way up. Don't be in a hurry and go down to Red Barber's door in Tallahassee and genuflect on his first step and have him come out and bless you. And if he blesses you right, maybe things will happen.
You are made.
You are made.
Well, hopefully when you come up here for that ball game, I'll get to see you and talk to you then.
Well, I'm telling you, you got that southern accent and you're living on the Maine coast, huh?
Yeah.
You're a lucky guy.
Have a good
Come in. Where are you calling from?
Girls must love him.
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling from Bangor.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Bill, I met you earlier today at the convenience store in Bangor that you bought gas at.
Right.
And I just wanted to invite you back tomorrow, and I'll buy you a coffee and a donut.
Well, boy,
I
talk about a
appreciate that.
commercial.
And
That's
I'm,
it.
I'm heading out of town.
Yeah,
and I only bought half a tank of gas. I'll take that too. No, I'm just kidding. I'll see you. Charge it to CK.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I know him well. He's a personal friend of mine.
Hello. Come in.
Hi, I'm calling from Portland.
Yes, sir.
Bill, I was listening to you a couple of weeks ago on the radio. I believe you're out in San Francisco.
Yes, I was.
And you mentioned the work by, I believe it was Buckminster Fuller.
Buckminster Fuller.
What was the title of that book? I'm very interested in reading it.
Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth.
That's what I thought it was. I
Just
wrote
think
it down.
about it like this.
I was on my way driving
you got
back
the
up
Earth
to
right
Boston.
here, and you put your hand on Madagascar, and boom, you throw it back into fourth, and then you're driving along through Earth. You're doing 55 miles per second, hit the equator, and all of a sudden you're tilting your axis 23. In other words, you learn how the Earth works in the scheme of things, and once you learn that, it's like Archimedes said, you give me a lever and a fulcrum and a place to stand, I can move the Earth. Trouble is, we couldn't find a place for him to stand.
How have things been in space of late?
Well, we're all traveling. You have to realize, see, that's the concept. We are all, as we're sitting here right here, thank God we are rotating on our axis, and thank God we are tilting, or we wouldn't have changed the seasons. We're not doing God's not doing a good job this year because we're a little late, and salmon haven't come up. But we're traveling like this, and once you read Buckminster Fuller, and you understand Buckminster Fuller, H. Ross Perot has to read Buckminster Fuller, and the first one who reads it first, I will vote for Perot, Clinton, or Bush. If all of them read that book, whoever reads it first can understand it and sees the light, and not the light from the night light in the bathroom, sees the real light, then I will vote for him and support him as President of the United States.
Come on.
Okay.
All right. Your
That's
question.
a good book. It's Operating Manual Spaceship Earth.
Thank you.
You bet.
Your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Bill?
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Old Town, Maine.
All right, good. Pretty good town.
How's your canoe?
How's my canoe? Bill, now you said you'd like to manage the Red Sox, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I manage the Red Sox, my first move would to put Jack Clark on the bench. How about your move?
No kidding.
We'd put him on a plane.
Yeah,
We'll do
fly
better
him
than
out
that.
of there, yeah. Now, wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree with that in a heartbeat.
The guy comes up in clutch situations, either strikes out or grounds out.
Hey, he's
How
old.
about the mighty Joe Young? Would you put him on a plane?
Joe who?
Yeah, we're talking about, the guy who's got the difference between Matt Young and Bill Lee. Someone said, what's the difference? I said, you see that mirror over there? I said, I can hit that mirror and won't break it. Matt Young can't hit that mirror. But no, I would bring up Cerruti.
Yeah.
I would set Matt Young down for a while until he got his control. I would run Matt Young 6 miles every day.
There's nothing wrong with the pitching staff, though, is there?
No, well, the pitching
really.
staff has done remarkably well, and the hitters, they're just slow, and they
Matt Young can't run 6 miles.
That's true. He can't run 6
There's
miles.
no way in the world any more than I can.
First thing we would do, we would have 2 years ago. We would have traded.
Cut his check and send him on the road.
We would have traded Boggs for Joe Carter straight up.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
Put Cooper at
Would
third.
you make that deal?
That wouldn't be a bad idea, yeah.
We had that deal made.
Because
you know another deal we had? We had a kid named Avery. They wanted. The Red Sox could have got Avery.
From Atlanta.
From Atlanta.
Yeah.
How about a guy named Brady Anderson?
Oh yeah, Brady Anderson learned about lifting weights. Arnold Schwarzenegger came and visited him in the off season. Now he hits 14 home runs for Baltimore.
Yeah.
And how about the guy in Houston?
Houston on first base.
In first base, Rookie of the Year.
All right, your question. Let's go.
Shoot the general manager.
Your question. Where are you calling from?
Bucksport.
Bucksport, yes, sir.
I was wondering if Mr. Lee had any idea why that when Boston gets rid of pitchers, they tend to pitch a lot better.
Well,
AKA,
there's 2 reasons. I don't think the management handles pitchers real well up there. I think they get a short hand of the stick. And second, once you leave Fenway Park, everywhere is easier to pitch. And once you've done your penance at Fenway Park, you go to another park, you breathe a lot easier. You go, oh, I'm out of Fenway Park. You're relaxed and you throw better. They bring pitchers up too fast in Boston. They throw them to the wolves right away. They did that with Hurst, and Hurst was benched, and Zimmer said he had no guts and he couldn't pitch. Now he's the premier left-hander in the National League. You had a guy named Tudor. You had a guy named Ojeda. You had a guy named Lee who did a pretty good job for him, and they got rid of me because I spoke my mind. They don't treat pitchers with a great... Look at Roger Moret.
You have a call from VZ.
I have a call from VZ? Oh,
VZ,
really?
yes.
Where do you get all this? You get all...
I'm getting
You're a mind reader.
Hi, Ted. You know me.
Hello.
Spencer.
Hiya.
I think you met Spencer at the VZ
I
Salmon
sure
Club
did.
this
Yeah, you sure do.
We didn't wet any flies, but we wetted our whistle.
The old crappie. How you doing?
What's your question, Spencer?
Well, I wanted to find out how you think about Ted Williams.
What do you think about Ted Williams?
I think Ted Williams is a character, and I think he's the luckiest guy in the world to have that body and the quickest swing he had, the greatest eyes that was ever blessed a guy. He was the best fighter pilot with the exception of Yeager. He was blessed with remarkable tools, and he was by far the best ball player that ever played the game. Statistically, if he had played those extra 5 years, he would have surpassed all the records, you know. And I like him when he has a little branch water and stuff. He can fling a poo-poo platter across the table and crack them against. He's a one of a kind. I'll tell you, John Wayne spent a whole career trying to imitate Ted Williams.
I love him.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
All right, Spencer.
Thank you.
Next call. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bangor.
All right.
And I'm a displaced Vermonter, fellow Vermonter.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, Bill, I played in a 4th of July game with you about 3 years ago. In
Saxon River.
That's right.
All right, we beat Brattleboro.
Yeah, you had a clutch double
Boy,
in the
what
last
a big
inning.
league, Saxon and Brattleboro.
Yeah. It was a big game. We were the state champs. The team I played for used to be, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just curious what you thought of Carlton Fisk.
Carlton Fisk. He was like all those guys born along the Connecticut River. He was like, his mother must have gone out and dipped him in the Connecticut River up to his ankles. And that's the only thing that's given him trouble this year. He's like Achilles. He is the consummate New Englander, stick-to-itiveness, hardworking, and he would never have been as great as he was in Chicago if he hadn't every time the ball came in, it didn't look like Haywood Sullivan's head. And every time he sees it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and he waits and just rips it. And look at all the home runs he's hit against the Red Sox. He's an amazing ball player, but you think about it, he's caught more games for Chicago, he's hit more home runs for Chicago, but he played his best years for Boston. And he should be the manager of the Red Sox right now, player manager.
All right, come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
Bangor.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just want to say, Bud, that you know how to fill up a salmon boat. I've seen you a few times out there.
Oh, is that right, huh? Smart guy. Go ahead. What's your question?
Well, I just want to tell Bill, first of all, that he was probably the second best left-handed pitcher that I ever saw in the Red Sox uniform.
Who was the best?
Well, I think Bruce Hurst probably was the best until the Boston fans got the best of him.
Well, Hurst won one less game than I did in a Boston uniform. Right. And I thank him every day he left and went to that great St. George, Utah, where the air is fresh and full of uranium. And now he's playing in San Diego, and who cares?
He's lost out there.
Right. He won 5 in a row. Who cares?
Come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
Where are you from?
Hello.
West Tremont.
West Tremont.
Yep. One comment, Mr. Lee, you're greatly appreciated in this area. You're one of the most colorful and interesting baseball people in New England. And I have just one question. I think that the Red Sox gave up on Eckersley too quick. Why didn't they make him a relief pitcher instead of trading him?
Well, they don't know how to handle people. His wife saved his career. She was the chief of police's daughter, I believe. She videotaped him after he got drunk on New Year's Eve. Showed him the videotape, and he hasn't had a drink since. That's what changed Eckersley's career. Red Sox couldn't handle him. They don't know really how to handle players. There's tons of them. They can get them all over the place.
You know, when Eck was there and we had the Buffalo Heads, that was a delegation.
Oh, we had tons of them. You're right. We had Eckersley, me, all those guys down the line. We weren't good. If you treated us bad, we went out and partied a little harder, you know, and we were hurting ourselves, and, you know, but Eckersley, you look at his statistics. I mean, what a great guy. He's
Come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
South Portland.
South Portland, yes, sir.
Bill.
Yeah.
What do you think about Roger Clemens? Is he the best pitcher you've seen?
Roger Clemens is a great pitcher. He doesn't have a lot of heart. He doesn't win big games at the end of the season. And he took himself out of a ball game with a 1-0 lead against Oakland last year, the first game of the series, and Anderson came in and they lost it, and then they lost the next 3 in a row. You know, day in and day out, he's a horse. He is a horse, but he hasn't proven it to me that he should, with his ability and with this staff, if they get into a playoff situation, he's got to win the first game, he's got to come back and win the 4th game, and he's got to win the 7th game. When he does that, I will change my opinion of of the big guy. He's a great guy, great stuff and everything else. But I've seen him in big games, and he hasn't done it. Hadn't beat Toronto in the clutch.
I will this year.
Good.
Come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
North Wyndham.
North Wyndham, yes, sir?
Oh, Bill, I'd like to make a small comment, then a quick question. First of all, I watched you pitch many times down to Fenway Park, and I have to admire your guts and your determination. I know that means a lot. But the question I want to ask you is, all the time you've been playing baseball, who do you think is the toughest, gutsiest, fairest, hard-working, everyday ball player that you ever played with or against? Gotta tell me.
I thought you were going to comment on my shirt.
Like
Where did you get that shirt? I got it from Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver show.
Very nice.
The toughest, gutsiest, hardest-nosed player I ever played against, and one of the meanest individuals, and I didn't like him a bit, was Thurman Munson.
Really?
Thurman Munson was the hardest-nosed, toughest, day in, day out. Carlton Fisk was the other guy that I think played hurt, was tough, mean, and as far as hard-working and gutsy ball player, I've played with a lot of them, and no one more than that. Andre Dawson, another guy.
The Hawk.
The Hawk played on bad knees on that AstroTurf, and the day he went to Chicago, I said, you did the right thing. You're going to add years to your career, and it certainly has. And he got to play in the pennant there for a while.
But he's just allowed, incidentally, to have knee operations.
Yeah. Wouldn't he look nice in the Red Sox uniform?
He sure would look nice, Andre Dawson.
Wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's a gutsy guy.
He would have about 4 years ago.
His legs are as old as the wind, though.
Shot.
Too bad. His knees are as old as Bud's.
That's what happens when we get old,
That's exactly
Bill.
right.
That's what happens when we get old, Bill.
That's what happens when we get old.
Well, like us, we're drinking black coffee. He's drinking water. He's good. He's
Come
smart.
in with.
Thanks, Bill.
My knees are going fast. Yep.
Come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island in Canada.
Charlottetown, Prince Edward
I
Island.
played there against the Generals.
Yeah, we saw you play a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I spent my summers in Malden, just north of Boston there when I was growing up.
Right.
And really enjoyed watching you play.
Well, thank you.
I've watching the show now for about 20 minutes, and no one's mentioned Yastrzemski. Quite a ball player.
Yeah.
Favorite of mine. A couple of comments on him, and I really concur with your remarks about Jack Clark. He's got to go. And who would be your pick to manage the Sox now?
Besides myself?
Besides yourself, yeah.
Johnny Pesky. Johnny Pesky, because he's happy, he's lovable, and it's his time. He'll lead them from the doldrums. They'll come on and win it for him, and then he can retire and be happy as a lark.
There's no more fun in those dressing rooms.
You're right.
There are no laughs.
None.
There used to be gags, and everybody was the trickster, and T-Ant would come in there.
Oh, he'd keep you laughing all game long, all the time. There's no levity in the situation. And Yastrzemski was kind of a sourpuss. Even though you liked him and he was a great guy, he was the world's worst dresser, wore the same raincoat all the time, and we would constantly throw it away. And he'd always fish it out of the trash bin. And we would throw it away, and he'd fish it back. He dressed like Columbo, and he was the world's worst bridge player, but he was a hard worker, and he was a tough guy. And by the way, have you had a late spring in PEI?
Yeah, real late. It's been a tough one. It's going down to about 3 degrees Celsius here tonight.
Oh, wow.
And,
wow.
Yeah, we've had a late spring.
You're going to have a frost, aren't you?
Yeah, frost warning tonight, and it's been a real late.
Can you believe this?
So
June
it's beautiful
4th?
up here. It's beautiful up here. And one final comment.
Mount Pinatubo.
Bill Lee and the Sox have a lot of fans at PEI.
Well, thank you very much. I got a lot of fans in Tignish.
Good spot.
Come in with your call. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Bangor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Bill. It's Lenny Silva calling from Telco Communications. I play left field for you.
Oh, you sure do.
How are you?
Wait, you're up here tonight.
I'm up here trying to get us some games.
Well, good.
How you been?
I'm doing fine.
What is this, a neighborhood match or what?
So I'm playing with him. If you're healthy, I'm playing with him tomorrow night down in Millis, Mass.
Are you?
Great.
Yeah, but where are you staying?
I'm right at the Red Carpet Inn in Bangor.
Yeah, I'll give you a call after the show.
All right.
And we'll find out what we're going to do strategy-wise of playing up here. Well, we're going to play Stephen King on his field, but we're going to play hardball.
That's fine.
Is that fine?
Oh, you know me.
Okay, I know you.
That Moncton caller that called before, we should get, remember I played for Alley's up there, Rhode Island Alley's?
Yeah.
And we had some great baseball games
All
up there.
right, you
the
guys.
fans are
Wait a
great.
minute. Get
Well,
on
I'll
the
let you go.
telephone.
I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
All right.
Phil, give me a call later. We'll go have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Take it easy. Bye.
Come in. Where are you calling from?
Waterville.
Waterville. Yes, sir.
I haven't been to Waterville. Howdy.
Mr. Lee?
Yeah.
Baseball misses characters like you. I appreciate when you pitch.
Well, thank you. I wasn't a character. I just played hard, and maybe they made me into a character, but I haven't changed from the days in Little League, you know. And I played with Tim Foley. Remember Tim Foley? And he was crazy. I was one of the saner guys. He'd strike out. He'd sleep at second base because he was afraid his dad had beat him. You know.
You just gave it everything you had all the time. That's why I
Well,
appreciate it.
well, thank
One
you.
question.
Yeah.
What do you think? One of my other favorites, Rick Burleson. What do you think of him as playing shortstop?
Tough cookie, Brick.
Gave you a day's work every ball
Yes.
game.
That's what. Well,
He threw too hard, though. He kept winding up, throwing too hard. I said, Rick, save your arm. You only got one arm, you know. And he eventually threw it out there, and he just did everything. He does everything too intense.
Well, how do you think the Red Sox, when they treated him, the way they released him, and they went to the Angels, and the Angels brought him back and let him recuperate, and he played a couple more seasons with them. I think they did more for him, mentally wise, as far as
the Red Sox hated
appreciating him.
Yeah, the Red Sox hated Burleson. They hated Fisk. They hated Lynn. They hated all the guys that had Capstein as their agent back in that time. See, the party line of all the owners was, don't sign your own free agents. Let them go. Let them go. They'll never get more on the free market. And then as soon as they let them go, every owner that had deep pockets would go, to hell with the other owners. I'm going to buy this guy for this amount of money. I'm going to buy this guy. And all of a sudden, prices escalate. And they blame it on Burleson. They said, damn Burleson, he goes in free agent and he goes out there. We're going to hate him and stuff. But they brought him back as a coach. They brought Zimmer back as a coach. They love those tough-nosed little leprechauns.
He gave it 110% every time he played.
Next client, please. Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from East Sullivan.
East Sullivan, all right. Beautiful place.
Well, it's not bad.
Not near Haywood, is it?
Yeah, down near Haywood. I'd like to talk to that boy.
Yeah.
Hey, you talked about Andre Dawson and his old legs. I'm surprised that the Red Sox don't want to pick him up because they never seem to want to get any base stealers.
I tell you, he's got the sorest legs, and he's still one of the fastest guys in the Red Sox organization. They get him in that organization, and they feed him slow pills. They give it to him down there.
I guess you're
I'm
right.
telling you, they put some gypsum in with their vitamin C or something. I don't know what they put in it. They all turn into like Lot's wife, pillars of stone when they get into the organization. Well,
Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah.
Calling from Wyndham.
All right, Wyndham.
I want to know if Bill can reflect on his best moments in the Sox uniform. Talking about Thurman Munson and stuff, I remember a brawl way back when.
Yeah, he can too. He come up with a bum shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I got beat up that game, 76. First game against the Yankees after we had beat them in 75. And they had changed managers from Lot's wife, which was Bill Verdon, to a little pugnacious son of a gun named Billy Martin. And we got in a big fight, and I hurt my arm, and it never really healed properly after that, but I still continued to pitch as hard as I could. I actually had a better sinker on days. I had a better slow curve. I had to have a better slow curve. I lost my hard breaking curveball. And, but I was smarter. An injured beaver is a smart beaver. He avoids a lot of traps. The Indians have a high respect for the injured animal because they have to use their smarts and guile to get by, and that's what I became. I became a lame beaver. And I worked hard. But my best moment in a Red Sox uniform would have to be the first day I ever got to put it on, because those were good flannels, nice polish. They weren't the double knits. I looked good. I got Yastrzemski was over here. Tony Conigliaro was in his prime. Rico Petrocelli was young. Mike Andrews was still playing. And, it was a nice time to come up in the late 60s. And, and when I got in that Red Sox uniform, I wasn't in a trench over in Vietnam. And that was the highlight of my life. And that's why I played hard, because I didn't want to go to Nam. And, I was blessed. I was lucky. I had a low number. I was drafted, and I got into a reserve unit. And the Red Sox, for 6 years, I played hard. It kept me out of the Army, the regular Army, you know, and I didn't have to get my rear end shot off. So it was the late 60s, early 70s. You know, you ever watch that show on TV called, whatever it is, I can't think of it now.
Dear Isle is waiting to talk to
Yeah.
you. Come in, Dear Isle. Hello.
Oh, hi, Bill.
A lot of people died in the Civil War in Deer Isle.
They sure did.
Yeah.
First, I have a question, but I also want to thank you, Bill, for your insights into the Red Sox and professional baseball. It's been fascinating tonight.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. The question I have is, I know how I felt as a fan when the Red Sox lost to the Mets a few years ago in the World Series, but as a former player, how did you feel at the time? And it seemed like the Red Sox had it, but they just lost it. How did you feel?
We had just won one of our last playoff games for the Moncton Mets. We were sitting in a bar up there, our whole team, and I remember we were sitting there gathered around the TV, and they brought in Schiraldi, and he had Carter 0-2, and he made a bad pitch, and Carter got a base hit. Then he had the next guy 0-2 and made a bad pitch, and he just was brain dead out there, and all of a sudden they bring in Stanley, and then he throws the ball, and Gedman goes over, and I'm going, holy cow, here they go again. And I'm sitting there, and then that ball went through Buckner's legs. And we were just talking the other day. He was down in Phoenix, Arizona, and he got despondent, and he jumped out in the street, tried to commit suicide, jumped in front of a bus, but it went between his legs.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay.
You got it. Come in with your call.
Fort Fairfield?
Fort Fairfield, yes, sir.
Hi, Bud.
How are you?
Good, good. Hi, Bill.
Howdy.
Bill, you've had a lot of easy pitches to handle tonight, and I just wanted to comment on your pitch to Perez in 75.
Right.
I thought it was a dreadful mistake. Could you defend it?
Hell no. Why should I defend a bad pitch? I made a bad pitch, but then I kept going. You know, life is like that. What happened on the pitch before, the hitter before Perez? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Johnny Bench hit a two-hopper to Burleson. Burleson threw it to Doyle. Doyle jumped over the bag and threw it in the dugout.
That's
Yastrzemski didn't make the play. That would have been the third out of the inning. Perez doesn't even come up. I don't have to face him until the leadoff hitter of the next inning. People don't remember that. They only remember the bad pitch I threw to Perez. But everything in life is it's a context. What happened in the third inning? We had runners at second and third and nobody out. I was the runner at third. I got a base hit to drive in a run. I'm standing over there, and we got the top three hitters coming up, and we don't score another run. We could have blown them out of the water, and we would have had a six-run lead going into the fourth inning. We didn't have a killer's instinct at the plate. We hung on, and we came back, but we didn't have the kind of club that could put people away. And it's shown up very distinctly in the seventh game. We were content to just keep playing, but we didn't have that killer instinct. And they didn't really either. I pitched pretty good. I got a blister on my thumb. I had to come out the following inning. I couldn't throw strikes. But, you know, we had Willoughby. Willoughby hadn't given up a run in a World Series game to this day. And they pitch hit for Willoughby with 2 outs. They brought in Cecil Cooper, swung at 3 high fastball. See you later. Goodbye, Cecil. Baltimore.
I always wanted to ask you. Thank
yeah,
you.
well, that's it. That's that's.
Come in with your question.
It was a bad pitch, a hanging curveball.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Curveball right in front of your face.
I'd like to make just one comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I missed watching Jim Rice play.
Uh-huh.
And I would like to hear Bill Lee's comments on Jim Rice, and I'll hang up and let him answer.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Okay.
Jim Rice was one of the great all-time hitters of all time. He could hit to all fields. He could hit with power. He could run. He could do everything. Everything came very easy to Jim Rice, and he got very high. He got very falutin. He made a lot of money, and then he got sloppy. And he got old in his career, and they cut him loose for one reason, and that was because he wasn't really nice. And if he had been nicer to the people on the way up, I was always told, be nice to the people on the way up because you're going to see them again on the way down. And what happened is when he got up here and his money was big, bingo, they cut him and he fell very fast. But now he's a hitting coach and he's mellowed, he's gotten much better, and he should have done those little things to stay around. He's Hall of Fame material. He should have been. He was by far one of the great hitters of all time in all
10
categories.
years.
For 10
years.
Bingo.
Great record. All right, we're down to a couple of minutes. Your question. Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Yeah, I'd like Bill to
explain his thoughts on the Red Sox getting rid of Bernie Carbo.
I've already covered that. They got rid of Carbo when I was on the strike day, or not the strike day, the day that I walked out and got mad at him and stuff. And hell, Bernie Carbo hit .310, had 25 home runs in 125 games for the Cincinnati Reds. He made $9,000. They offered him a $1,000 raise for the next year. Here he was, Rookie of the Year or close to it in the National League, and he walked out of spring training. He held out. They punished him. He came back, had a terrible year. They sent him to St. Louis, and he's just always wanted to be wanted, and he never felt wanted in life. He was always dealt, and he always had that feeling, and it was a sad, sad state of affairs. He was a great hitter, you know, and he had a lot of problems.
Final question. Where are you calling from?
Etna.
Etna, let's have it.
Bill.
How's the eruption?
Oh, we don't have a volcano here in Etna.
Okay.
How do you think a minor league ball team would do here in Bangor?
Minor league ball club with Stephen King's field, they draw 1,500 every game. But the problem is with minor league ball here is you're at the far end of the earth. Everyone's got to come all the way from Eastman.
What do you mean the earth?
You're at the earth
Come
over
on,
here.
Be kind.
You got to realize that people got to drive all the way. The other Eastern League clubs or Rookie League clubs, it's far away. If the transportation, if you can get Northwest Airlines in here to fly people to all these minor league fields, Bangor would draw great. You could play at Orono at the college field, but that's committed to a lot of other events. You'd have to have a field. Stephen King's would have to add bleachers down the sides, and then you would draw 3,000 every game. It's a perfect place. Logistically, right now, with the prices, it's a bad place. But
Bill, we got 25 seconds.
I'll be playing here anyway on August 9th. You don't have to see anybody else.
Listen, old friend, you've been a joy and a delight.
Well, thank you.
And enjoyed having you, and we'll be looking forward to when you come with the Gray Sox or the Gray Beards. Listen, that's our final program for the summer. Wish you well, have a safe and a happy summer, and perhaps this fall we'll see you again. Many, many thanks for being our viewers and our friends. We bid you good night.
From every greenwood tree. Oh, may I go a-wandering until the day I die. Oh, may I always laugh and sing beneath God's clear blue sky. Valerie, 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 beneath God's clear blue sky. Beneath God's clear blue sky.